Today, we are diving into a massive question. What in the world is the mind? We're going to go on a pretty wild journey from modern psychology all the way back to ancient philosophy to try and peel back its hidden layers. So let me ask you this. How many layers does your mind really have? You've probably heard about the conscious and the subconscious, sure. But what if that's not even half the story? What if our minds are way more complex than we even think? Let's find out.
All right, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with Freud's classic model, the one we all kind of know. Then we'll see how modern science throws a cool new twist on it. After that, we're jumping into a super fascinating four-part framework from the ancient Upanishads. We'll look at everything from our emotional side to this idea of a silent observer, and finally, the concept of divinity within.
Okay, let's ease into this with a name you definitely know, Sigmund Freud. He gave us one of the most famous models of the mind, and he split it up into three main parts. It's a great place for us to start.
So, this model is all about our inner conflicts. It's like a constant tug-of-war, right? On one side, you've got the id. That's all your primal urges, your basic instincts. On the complete other side is the superego. That's your conscience, your moral compass. And stuck right in the middle, that's the ego, the rational part of you, just trying to play referee between the two. It's a classic, but like we're about to see, it's not the whole picture.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. Let's see what happens when modern science enters the room. It adds this fascinating biological layer to Freud's idea of instinct, and it kind of complicates his purely psychological model.
Get this, it's called the gut-brain axis. And no, this isn't just a metaphor. It's a real physical information superhighway that's constantly running in both directions between your brain and your gut. And the main cable for all this traffic? A little thing called the vagus nerve. And you know what this explains? That gut feeling you get? That little hunch or intuition. Well, it's not just all in your head. It's a real signal coming from your digestive system. It's like science is finally catching up with what we've always instinctively known. Okay, hold on to that idea of a gut feeling, because now we are going to pivot. We're jumping way back in time to an ancient Eastern text, the Tripura Shakti Upanishad. And what's wild is that it offers a framework that sounds a lot like a modern computer. So, this text introduces us to a concept called the antakarana, which basically means the inner instrument. And instead of Freud's 3 layers, this model says there are 4 distinct parts, all working together. The first component is manas. The easiest way to think of this, it's your mind's hard drive. Seriously, it's the memory bank that stores absolutely everything, every sight, sound, and smell you've ever experienced, and every thought or action you've ever produced. According to this philosophy, without this massive library, the mind just wouldn't work. All right, so if manas is the hard drive, then buddhi is the CPU, the central processor. The buddhi is your intellect. It grabs all that data from the memory bank, from manas, combines it with new info coming in from your senses, and then makes logical decisions based on all the rules and patterns it's learned over time. So we've got a memory bank and a processor. Sounds like a computer, right? But what's driving the whole machine? Well, that brings us to the third layer, ahamkara. This is the seat of our personality, our powerful emotional core. Ahamkara is that feeling of I. It's our ego, our sense of self, and it's driven by really powerful emotions like pride, envy, and despair. Now think about it. How many times have those feelings just completely steamrolled your rational, logical buddhi? And here's the kicker. The source suggests that this emotional core might actually physically be located within that same vagus nerve system we just talked about. And that's the connection. That's the big aha moment. In this ancient model, ahamkara is the source of our gut feeling. It's the emotional driver that pushes us to act on intuition, not just on cold, hard logic. It's an incredible bridge between modern science and ancient wisdom.
Okay, so we've covered memory, logic, and emotion. I mean, that feels pretty complete, right? It's like a well-oiled machine that explains most of our daily thinking. But now we're going to explore something that goes way beyond that.
Is that really all we are? Just a complex machine made of memories, logic, and feelings? The Upanishads say, no way. They argue there is one more, absolutely crucial layer, something that exists completely beyond the material mind. This slide really lays out the difference, and it's a huge one. On one side, you have the material mind, manas, buddhi, and ahankara. It's formed in the brain, it lives in the body, and when the body expires, so does it. But on the other side, you have chitta, and it's described as existing beyond space-time, It was never created, and it can never be destroyed.
So what does this chitta actually do? Well, here's the twist. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't participate. It's not making choices or judging you. It's described as pure consciousness, a silent, impartial observer that just watches. It records every single decision your intellect, your buddhi, ever makes.
This brings us to our final stop, and honestly, the most profound part of our whole journey today, figuring out what this silent observer truly is.
The source text doesn't mince words. It describes chitta in this incredibly powerful way. It is, and I quote, the divinity within each of us. It's not a part of your brain or your personality. It is your true eternal self.
So this divine spark, this chitta, it transcends death. It carries that complete record of all your choices with it into the afterlife. But it's not totally separate from our daily lives. The source actually warns that if we get too tangled up in the day-to-day anxieties of our material mind, our chitta can get confused and bewildered right along with us. But it also holds the ultimate potential, the power to rise above the consequences of our actions, what we call karma.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If your truest self, your chitta, is just a silent observer, then who is the you that's actually making choices every single day? Is it your logical processor? Is it your emotional driver? Or is it some messy combination of both? That's a question worth sitting with for a while.